I got to ask you a question then. In a perspective for a child that I'm watching online, quite proud of success. He's getting a lot of hate, and he reminds me a lot about you.
No, don't say that.
Come on.
He reminds you of my old version of myself.
He reminds me of you. You know why? Because I see every move is calculated. Every move he's making is calculated. He knows what he's doing. And I think in his heart, just from an outside perspective, I think he's trying to set his people that he loves up. And I think he's doing the same thing that you did in a different shock factor. But you got to remember, you paved the way where being the problem child could be a solution. And I saw him on the interview of Impulsive. He was very different back in the day when he first found success. And you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Who is it?
His name's Jack.
Yep. So what advice would you give to Jack knowing that he's on this trajectory of, I think he's putting his life in danger.
Yeah,
I think there's
agreed.
a lot of people out there that want to be in the light, and they're seeing a lot of people getting sick and tired of his actions, and I'm very scared that somebody's going to do something to him that he can't reverse, regardless of all the bodyguards that he's hiring. And I understand that it's entertainment, but we got to have some type of structure where you're not putting yourself in danger, and most importantly, the people that you love in danger. So what advice would you give to a kid that is, I hate to say this to you, following in your footsteps as the problem child?
I would say it depends, but I would say, what more do you want? Because he has enough money to be able to buy a property somewhere and live on it and take care of his family. So what is it that you are trying to accomplish? Are you trying to gain more followers? Because if you are, sir, young man, they are following you for the wrong reasons. They're watching you to watch your demise. They're not laughing with you, they're laughing at you. And so you are the butt of the joke, and I don't think that's what you want, young man. So what do you want? And I think the answer to that question would help the discussion, but I also can understand where he's coming from, because I was so hell-bent when I was young on being successful and having money to be able to be free and to make my parents proud and to be able to buy my dad things and my mom things and to have money for my family, that was my main goal. And so anything besides that, I didn't really care of how I got to there.
I want to add on to that because I agree everything you're saying. But I think I want to add on is, you remember when we were doing just 6-second videos? You get caught in the sauce, right? Which is like you don't want to, because if you stop doing what got you there, it's everything that you did and sacrificed and were called an idiot for is for nothing. You just did all this to do what they said you're going to do, and you're going to stop and you're going to fail. And what happened, which I think of the grace of God, boxing fell into your lap.
Yep.
You had a different trajectory to head. And so I think that he's got to the highest limits of where he should go with what he's got going on.
Yep.
And he needs to find another passion to chase that could find him even more success financially or physically or mentally or spiritually. But I think he's caught, and mind you, I don't know the kid, but I know kids that are like him that are so scared of letting go of what they should be letting go of. Your season is time to move on. Like, it's time for you to find that new flame and start at ground zero. And some people are too scared because we know, as much as we talk shit about him, we know the sacrifice that kid had to do to get himself to where he's at. So it's very hard for him to let go of something that nobody else earned for him.
Yeah, it's not even scary. It's like, he wouldn't even know how. If we were I think if he's hearing this, or if he were sitting right here, he would literally laugh and be like, yeah, bro, for sure. He wouldn't, like you.
He probably would,
No,
bro.
for sure. Like, you wouldn't even, the words wouldn't even enter into his body. It's that bad. It's like emergency 911, like off the rails. So at some point, there's you can do a lot to save a lot of people, but at some point they have to find out for themselves. That's how I was. I have to touch the stove 10 times, and I'm getting better at that. Where it's like, okay, I can just like listen to someone and take their advice. But when you're that young and successful,
very
and
successful,
have all these successful quotation marks, because that's also a problem that we're calling him this. Even and it's because as a society we're conditioned to think people are successful off of their bank account and their follower count versus their happiness account and their love count. And it would be so bizarre if how society would change if you saw the monk in the woods and the main thing that mattered in this world was love and happiness, and you saw and we praised the people who were the happiest and the most loving. We would all just be like running into the woods to go take a selfie with the monks because they're extremely happy and have all the love they need right there with themselves. So it's actually bad of us to call him successful because I don't think he's successful.
You find him to be in a good spot.
But in by society's terms, he's successful because he has money and followers and he's got a mansion and cars inside of it. But it's that's funny not how I judge a man.
But like society also knows we all like even the kid that doesn't have money, right? Like when you were growing up, right? You knew in your heart not all rich people are happy. We all know this. We see the movies, we hear the songs.
Yeah.
Motivation of having other people look at you in a successful light is very strong motivation for people. I want. So, like even you, right? When you first started, you wanted to prove the people that wrote you off wrong. You should have worked with me. I find myself to be very valuable. And so when you're caught trying to chase that and then you get that, you're not letting go of that for anything in the world. So I think that's his position that's in. But I also want to remind you when we were friends and you were going through the parts of your life where your neighbors were upset with you and you were known as the bad kid online, right? You're friends with him, bro, he's an asshole. Then it went to, yo, he's trying to be a boxer. Then it was like, whoa, dude, he's knocking people out. And then it went to like, oh, he's fake. And then now he's like, no, he's actually really seriously knocking these dudes out. And now they're like, I'm seeing memes of people being like, Ali and Jake, same birthday, same legacy. That's a crazy jump.
Yeah.
But if you listen to what people were telling you, you wouldn't be there.
Yep.
Who is in his ear? Who's in Jack's ear to tell him, hey man, maybe the direction you're taking it isn't the best direction anymore. Your surroundings are everything.
I don't know who this man, so I don't really want to speak on him because I'm not sure. But from what I've gathered from what you guys have said, I think it's the kind of thing where, he's going to have to like learn for himself. He's going to have to be on this journey on his own, and he's going to have to learn until something smacks him in the face, and he's going to be like, okay, and that's going to be his lesson. And sometimes like you have to fall on your own to learn it because nothing that anybody else says, if you don't want to hear it, you're not going to listen to them, and you won't do it for yourself.
And it might be a good thing, it might be a bad thing because, bro, where you're at right now helping children wouldn't have happened if you weren't the problem child and realized that, hey, these problems came because of my surroundings and the people that inspired me to be the person that I am. Let me now touch the youth so they could be inspired by good behavior instead of bad. So there's a thing that my mom used to say. She goes, the Lord takes something bad and he'll make it good for you. So Jack, I hope if you're listening, bro, you have all the opportunities to be doing really substantial things in life. Like, and I don't mean for you to look up to Jake, but Jake is a great example of a man that people doubted his abilities, and now there's many kids trying to become Jake Paul. And it happens through adversity.